Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I may need to run into the house to get an extra beer because I have run out. I've got an empty glass, and I don't like having an empty glass, especially when we are talking about these topics. So, in 24 hours, less than 24 hours, we could have Muslim blasphemy laws through the back door. Now, that's what I'm going to talk about. Now, as crazy as this sounds, right? In the United Kingdom, it seems perfectly acceptable. In the United Kingdom, it seems perfectly acceptable to burn Union flags on the streets because that's just free speech, right? Well, it's not, there's no such thing as free speech. It's freedom of expression, right? So, I don't know if you know that, but there is there isn't a free speech law. What it actually is freedom of expression, right? So freedom of expression. So people are allowed to burn the Union flag. They're allowed to spit on it, urinate on it. We've seen this, we've seen this many times in the United Kingdom. People being very disrespectful to the country that they live in. All accepted under the guise of freedom of expression, which is, freedom of speech. We are going down a path. You know what? We're on a path. We are literally on the path right now, and I don't see a runoff, guys, where the mob is ruling. Mob rule. That's what we have, ladies and gentlemen. Mob rule. And the mob predominantly pray 5 times a day. I don't like bacon sandwiches. Now, I like a bacon sandwich. I'm not into pork, guys. I'm not going to lie, but I do love a good bacon sandwich. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Let's keep it serious for a minute. So Britain could have Muslim blasphemy laws by tomorrow, like less than 24 hours. This time tomorrow, I'll be talking about this, and I'll be saying how this thing went ahead. Now, you've got to understand what's happening to the United Kingdom, to the country of the United Kingdom, to the people in the United Kingdom. The word colonization wouldn't be difficult to justify right now. We have people in Birmingham standing in the local elections who don't speak English. And that's, you know what, guys? Fair play to them. Absolutely fair play to them. Absolutely fair play. We have convicted terrorists now standing in election. We have... Look, and all this stuff I'm talking about is just Birmingham, right? All this stuff I'm talking about is just Birmingham. We have West Midlands police who fabricate evidence, present it to Parliament and say that it's the truth. Fake news. They present fake news to Parliament to appease communities. And nothing happens. Nothing happens. Has anyone been told off? Literally, you think about that, ladies and gentlemen. You have now, in the United Kingdom, West Midlands police actively fabricating evidence against Israeli fans, saying the Israeli... And look, I know I keep going back to this, but this is a massive thing, and it's totally being glossed over. Like, it's just being glossed over. Say this to yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Say this. A police force in the United Kingdom lied to Parliament They made up evidence that Israeli fans were going to be violent when the actual threat was from the communities in Birmingham. That's not me speculating, ladies and gentlemen. That is real world. That's what really happened. So now ask yourselves, right? In the United Kingdom, where it's totally acceptable to burn on the Union flag, to be disrespectful at our memorials, to disrespect British culture, we now have a case going through tomorrow that could bring in Muslim blasphemy laws. So So it's totally okay to say what you want about anyone else, any other religion, people, process, or whatever. That's totally fine. But tomorrow we could have laws that forbid that against Muslims. No, I'm not making this up, ladies and gentlemen. We are not living in an Orwellian. We are not living in an Orwellian novel. This is real world Britain. So tomorrow, let me give you the crux of this, guys, because I know some people might not be understanding what's happening. It all comes down to the so like, was it last year? I can't remember what it was. I think it was last year. So basically, tomorrow there's a at the High Court in London, like the High Court, the big one. The Crown Prosecution Service, they're fighting to overturn the acquittal of Hamit Koskun, the man who burned a copy of the Quran outside the Turkish consulate last year in protest against what he sees as political Islam. Now, let me just put this into perspective, guys, okay? The Crown Prosecution Service are the state lawyers, right? That's the state legal team. This is the same people, state legal representation, right? This is the same people that said the rights of asylum seekers trump the rights of people in Epping. Ergo, the rights of asylum seekers trump the rights of the people in Britain. I didn't make this up, guys. That's not speculation. That's real. So this guy outside the Turkish embassy, excuse me, he set fire to a copy of the Quran outside the Turkish embassy, and he was shouting, "Islam is the religion of terrorism." You know, and he got attacked for it. Can you guys remember there was the man with the knife trying to stab him? Well, it turns out the man that tried to stab him, he's totally fine. He's okay. We got you, bro. Oh, did somebody try burning your book? Ooh. So it turns out he's not facing any criminal charges, right? So the guy, he was attacked. He ended up in hospital and was originally convicted of religiously aggravated public order offense, basically fined for causing distress. But the guy who attacked him with a knife, that's totally fine. I mean, why did he even have a knife on him, right? Why did he even have a knife on him? Surely, if you carry a knife more than 3 centimeters in the United Kingdom, it's illegal, but whatever. So the law in the United... Sorry, guys, I'm going on for the little one, right? I'm going to have to rewind this a second, right? So if you carry a knife in the United Kingdom, now I think the law, and somebody check me on this. I don't know why you would carry a knife anyway. Obviously, unless you're going to work or whatever. If you carry a knife in the United Kingdom and the blade is this is what you're legally allowed to carry, right? You're allowed to carry a folding blade that cannot be locked, so it can't be locked out, and it has to be less than 3 centimeters. I know you can do a lot with 3 centimeters, guys. You know what I'm talking about, right? But if you guys have seen this video, this man pulls a whopper out, and it is a whopper. It's a whopper fixed blade. So I'm thinking, like, hang on a minute. Now, the law says you're not allowed to carry anything bigger unless you have a purpose for it. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, right, so if you're Muslim, you can carry a knife as long as you say that it's to protect, it's in case I need to attack anyone who's disrespecting Muslims. That may be the case, and listen, I know that sounds wild, but like, this is where we are. This is where we are right now. Tomorrow, this is going to come out in court. So, like I said, this guy who burned, you guys can remember it, right? It was all over the news. The guy who burned the Quran outside the Turkish embassy or whatever in London. Somebody tried attacking him with a knife. He was shouting things like, Islam is the religion of terrorism. And what better way to show that you're peaceful than attacking somebody with a Ken Kniff? So he got attacked for it. He ended up in hospital, and he was convicted of religiously aggravated public order offences, basically fined for causing distress. But last October, a judge threw it out, saying loud and clear, look, there's no blasphemy laws in Britain, right? That is freedom of expression, right? Parliament scrapped blasphemy laws in 2008. And free speech must protect the right to offend, shock, and disturb. However, the government, you know, the same people who said the rights of asylum seekers trump the rights of people in Epping. Yeah, the government, the Crown Prosecution Service, now want that decision reversed. And the warnings are coming thick and fast. Remember, the guy who attacked with the knife, that's totally legit, guys. You're allowed to do that. No charges were brought to that guy. No, I'm not making this up, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you. I'm not making this up. I would much rather be talking about aliens. So the Crown Prosecution Service, remember, they're the ones, if anybody forgot, the Crown Prosecution Service, the state are the ones who said that the rights of people, of the asylum seekers in hotels in Epping, trump the people of Epping. Ergo, the rights of asylum seekers are more important than the rights of the people who live here, paying the taxes, paying your wages. The warnings, they are, guys, they're coming thick and fast. Toby Young, the chief of the Free Speech Union, the group that is backing Cosgun, has been blunt and said, if the court sides with the prosecutors tomorrow, we will effectively have a Muslim. Honestly, guys, this is so wild, and you've no idea where this is going to go, right? How this is going to get manipulated. We will effectively have Muslim blasphemy laws by the back door. Lord Young of Acton, a Tory peer speaking on GB News, and this is on GB News, guys. I'll share this with you in a second. He echoed it. A win for the Crown Prosecution Service. Remember, the Crown Prosecution Service, the ones who are all Fabians, the ones who say that the rights of asylum seekers trump the rights of the people in the United Kingdom, i.e. Epping, you know, those guys. A win for the Crown Prosecution Service means Islamic blasphemy codes get enforced through our own public order laws. The Free Speech Union puts it even starker. It will send a message to extremists across the country. If you want to shut down criticism of Islam, just violently attack the critic, and the state will do the rest by charging the victim with religiously aggravated disorder. Guys, you have no idea what's happening right now. Honestly, you know how everybody wants these like Million Man Marches, Tommy Robinson. We're doing this, this is where it's at right now. This law that may or may not get this ruling tomorrow, This ruling tomorrow. So think about it for a second, right? Just think about that, right? Anytime, let's just say, remember that phrase, okay? Religiously aggravated disorder. So let's just say that, right? Let's just say you're walking down wherever. You're walking down wherever, and you have a union flag on your jacket, right? You have a union flag on your jacket. If somebody beats you up, right? Remember, I'm not making this up. The guy who was burning the Quran, he got attacked by someone with a knife. A knife. The guy who attacked him with a knife, no prison time. He's done. He's over. He's gone. He's living his best life, right? So now think about it, right? Where does that Overton window end? Where is that Overton window closed? So okay, he's burning a Quran, right? Oh, you're walking down the street with a Union flag on your jacket, right? Or whatever, you know. If somebody comes and beats you up and says they were religiously aggravating me, how do you defend that? How do you say, no, I wasn't religiously aggravating you? You get beat up, right? You then go to prison for wearing your Union Jack flag. And the man who beat you up, he gets a pat on the back or something. We're not aware. Honestly, guys, that's what this law is. This is how wild it is. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a legal expert. Please find free and fair legal representation. This video is for entertainment purposes, of course. So think about that for a second, okay? So no need for new legislation. Just weaponize the existing law. If you burn a book, if you burn a book, if you draw a cartoon, criticize a doctrine, if it offends someone, remember that word, guys, offend. If it offends someone enough and someone responds with violence, guess what? You're now a blasphemy. You are the criminal. If your cartoon, if your doctrine, if your words offend someone enough, you are now the blasphemer. You are now the criminal. It's not protection, it's a veto handed to the most aggressive voices. And that's what's happening in the United Kingdom, I think. I don't think I know, I can see it. If you're violent and you say you're going to be violent, people are appeasing you. You shouldn't do that, guys. That doesn't work well for anyone, ever. That if anyone thinks it does, tell me the situation in any society where that's worked well. And in a country already fractured, like the United Kingdom, with community divisions, oh God, I need another beer, and community divisions sky high, riots flaring up over immigration, grooming scandals, two-tier policing claims, two-tier policing claims, because, the government are denying it. Pro-Palestine marchers, far-right marchers, counter-protest marchers, turning ugly, attacks on mosques, synagogues, churches burning. This is happening, guys. I'm not making this up. These are things that are happening. And of course, attacks on individuals, sadly commonplace. What we are seeing now is going to be pouring petrol on a fire. Literally pouring petrol on a fire. We've seen it before. Riots, bricks thrown through windows, cars torched, checkpoints set up, police lines stretched thin. Tensions between communities right now are raw, they're dark, they're bitter. Trust in the system has gone. Can you ever believe? Literally, can anyone ever believe, right? That we would have in the United Kingdom. I watched a video last night on the evolution of beer in the United Kingdom, right? I know I'm a nerd, right? I am a nerd. I like making beer. I was watching. And I was watching the people and how they were talking and how they were getting around the community. And it was such a better life. It was such a better life. Men would come home from they would come home from work. They would go to the pub. And I was learning about the different breweries and the different. Anyway, sorry, where am I going? Who would have thought in the United Kingdom that we would have a situation where our communities are so fragmented, so broken, so distrustedized? Yeah, distrustedized is a word, guys. If it's not, it is now. I'm a fully qualified English gentleman. That's my birthright to make up words. Distrustedized. Distrustedized. If tomorrow, who would have thought that in that society, in that world, in that country, you would see it get so bad that people would set up their own roadblocks, checking for people and checking the colour of their skin. Jesus Christ, can you imagine how dystopian is that? That happened. That's not me speculating, analysis, or opinion. That happened. It will happen again. So if tomorrow's ruling effectively green lights vigilante enforcement of religious ideologies, sensitivities, what happens next? Like, what happens next? If this ruling comes out tomorrow and they say, yes, you are guilty of religiously aggravated public order, right? I don't even know what that means. What happens next? What if I'm religious? What if right now I'm religiously aggravating someone, right? And they burst in my door, they go stabby stabby, burny burny, and rammy rammy. Am I now the criminal and they're totally fine? I can't believe we're here. I cannot believe we are here. And because this is packaged in legal terminology, people are like, oh, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. All right, whatever. That's what it means. Religiously aggravated disorder or whatever. Like, it's so wild and insane. Like, I can't even believe I'm talking about this, guys. I really can't believe I'm saying this. So can you imagine the next time you're out, right? The next time you're walking down the street, right? The next time, street preachers. You know how you get these Christian street preachers, right? You know, this is a perfect example, right? Perfect example. Street preachers. You get Christian gospels preaching on the side of the streets, right? So now if this law is passed, that will be the green light for, for someone to go and beat them up, and then they're the victim. Not the people who've done the beating, the people who've done the talking. It's absolutely unbelievable. And like, this doesn't have as much media coverage as it should. It really doesn't. Religiously aggravated public order offense. What does that even mean? Causing alarm and distress? It honestly, guys, it's so insane. So what happens next? More flashpoints on the streets, more mobs forming because they think the law's on their side, and it is. More retaliation from the other side, more chaos, more injuries, more checkpoints, more fear, more community division. From Bradford to Birmingham, Luton to Leicester, right here in our own towns and cities. If this goes ahead tomorrow, and if and I can't even believe the government are challenging this. It's the government that are challenging this, guys. It's not some like liberal left-wing group. Well, maybe you can argue it is. This is our own government. This is your taxpayers' money that's funding this challenge, right? This isn't about one man's protest. And, look, guys, let me be quite clear. I don't think people should be burning Qurans outside anywhere, right? I don't think people should be burning Union flags. I don't think people I don't think people should be doing that sort of stuff. I don't think it should be illegal either. Be honest, how many times have you seen people in the United Kingdom with balaclavas burning a Union flag on the floor in the United Kingdom? Well, it turns out that's totally fine. That's totally fine, guys. Turns out that's totally fine. So this isn't about one man's protest anymore. It's about whether Britain still stands for open debate, even when it's uncomfortable. And look, guys, I always in the chat, I say to you guys, look, if you want to call me out or challenge me on something, do it politely. Don't swear. Don't be nasty. Don't be, don't be aggressive. Don't be aggressive. And I will take that, I will take that chat, right? I will take that chat and I will take that, I will take that, I will take that debate. I will take it. I won't get violent about it. I won't get angry. If you want to challenge me, do you know what? I actually welcome it. What do I always say? I always say, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call me out, I welcome it. I welcome a good debate. But it turns out, if you're in Britain, potentially tomorrow, if you criticize Islam and you get violently, fuck me, say that to yourselves, guys. Jesus, I need more beer. I can't believe I'm even saying this. I cannot believe I'm alive right now in the United Kingdom. I'm 44 years old, right? And I'm saying these words. If you potentially tomorrow, I need to caveat that, potentially tomorrow in Britain, if you criticize Islam and get attacked, you're the victim and the person who attacked you gets a pass. Even every time I say that, I struggle saying it. Now, I need to caveat it again. What I'm talking about is like last year I think it was last year, it might have been the year before. There was a man outside the Turkish, I think it was a consulate. It was a Turkish consulate in London. He burned a Quran. A man attacked him with a knife, right? The man who attacked him with a knife, totally fine. That's okay, bro. You were provoked. Go away. You're fine. You didn't do anything wrong. But tomorrow, the crescendo, guys, okay? So like I just said, all right, this isn't about one man's protest anymore, and I do need a beer. This is about whether Britain still stands for open debate, even when those topics, those conversations are uncomfortable. Or whether we start tiptoeing around certain belief systems out of fear, because that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's out of fear. Don't anybody think anything otherwise. This is about fear. The Free Speech Union calls it a recipe for chaos. So do I, guys. So do I. This is a recipe for chaos. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine it right now? Okay. This law will be, can you imagine in the mosques, right? In the mosques, they will be teaching this in the mosques. They will be saying, right, lads, if you feel someone is hang on, what's the word? What's the phrase again? If you feel someone is religiously aggravating you, like, that guy, Young Bob. We love Young Bob. We all love Young Bob, don't we? We love Young Bob. Like, Young Bob goes to Speaker's Corner, right? And there's that other one. There's the other Bob. There's two Bobs, right? There's Young Bob and Old Bob. Bobs, right? Let's just call him Bob, right? Bob in Speaker's Corner now, right? Just imagine this. Bob in Speaker's Corner is challenging some verses in the Quran, right? Let's just say that. He's saying, actually, I think this verse in the Quran, I don't think this is compatible with UK legislation. If he gets shanked, totally fine. Totally fine. That was religiously aggravated public order because you enraged someone so much, you got shanked. So now Bob's in jail and the guy who shanked him, that's totally fine. That's like religious self-defense or something. I can't believe I'm even saying this, guys. I honestly, I don't even know how this is going through I don't even know how this is getting a second sitting. So the Free Speech Union, they're calling this a recipe for chaos. The National Secular Society, they're warning that this could, extremists could dictate the limit of expression. And with the United States, this is so wild. The United States are saying they're going to offer this guy political asylum under Donald Trump if he loses. Can you imagine what, like, we're a third world nation. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, this time tomorrow, I promise you, Jesus. This time tomorrow, we could vote ourselves into a third world nation where the United States are offering asylum to British citizens. Wow. Just say that again to yourselves. So the United States have offered political asylum to this guy under Donald Trump if he loses. That's how serious this looks from America. I'm not making this up, guys. I'm not. If I've been slightly off on any of those details, if I said it was a consulate and it was an embassy, or, you know, if I've got the names wrong, or I'm not meaning to mislead, but I think what I've said, the essence of what I've said is right. I'll be keeping my browsers refreshed on this tomorrow, guys. I really will, because I don't think people understand how big this is. Can you imagine the police knocking on your door? Hello, mate. Yeah. You posted you shared a meme online that was a verse from the Quran. Yeah. Yeah, that's a religiously aggravated disorder. Oh, and what happens now? 2 years. Oh, okay. See you later, guys. That's where we are. That is literally where we are right now. I can't believe it. I cannot believe what I'm saying. I cannot believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody's behaving in the chat. Are you all behaving in the chat? I hope you're all behaving in the chat. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Silly Gallardi and Silly's in Israel is saying Islam's aim is to make everyone Muslims. It's no secret. But then what? Then what? When we're all right, when we're all Muslims, we're all praying 5 times a day. Then what? Then what? What do you do then? Excuse me. So if this happens, what will happen to Rupert? Look, first of all, I don't know. I'm not a legal expert, guys. I need to caveat that. Lisa Jane is saying, what if we are all religiously offended? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't attack someone, right? I mean, I don't think you would either, Lisa. Like, if I saw someone, like, honestly, if I saw someone burning a Bible, I wouldn't attack them with a knife. I wouldn't. I don't know who would. But I think it's this implementation of violence that's the thing, right? Because there's only a certain group of people that give that implementation of violence. Kenny with a can we all just give a minute for Kenny's thumbnail? What a beautiful thumbnail, Kenny. What a fantastic thumbnail. Right. Kenny is saying this is happening because we are all sitting by and letting it happen. Do you know what, Kenny? I'm going to build on that. I'm going to say this is all happening because we are sitting by, letting this happen and paying for it ourselves. We are paying for this ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. That is the reality. We are paying for this ourselves. We're paying for the down. We are paying for our own colonization. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? You know, when Britain went... right, listen, guys. Let me run into the house and get a beer, right? Can you guys wait with me? Can you guys hold out there? I'm going to run into the house. I'm going to get a beer. I may get a beer. I may not. I'm going to run into the house. I'm going to have a wee. I'm probably going to come back with a beer. Can you guys just hold on for 2 seconds? Because I'm absolutely bursting. No, I've got cider. Hang on. Oh. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, in case you missed it, we are heading for a recipe for chaos in the United Kingdom right now. We have less than 24 hours before a potential blasphemy law through the back door is passed. Now, this comes, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis. I've just talked about that in depth. What I'm talking about is, if you guys can remember, like last year or maybe the year before, there was the guy burning the Quran outside the Turkish consulate in London. He got attacked by a man with a knife. I don't know why he was carrying a knife, but he was longer than 3 inches. Absolutely. Fixed blade. Absolutely. Should have been sent to jail. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He wasn't. He's totally fine. That guy is due back in court. Not the stabby guy, the Bernie guy. Now, the initial courts, the guys, I can't believe I'm even saying this. I don't even want, you know, when you say something that's so insane, you can't believe it yourself. The same people who I'm paying, who you are paying, my taxpayers' money is funding the government, right? The government, the same government that said the rights of asylum seekers trump the people of Epping, ergo the rights of asylum seekers trump the people of the United Kingdom. Those same people are now taking, your taxpayers' money and taking this guy back to court because they are not happy with the decision of the courts to say we have free speech in this country. So the government, this is not a stretch of the imagination, guys. The government are arguing that we don't have free speech. Honestly, it's such a crazy time we're in. So if this law goes through tomorrow, if this guy pushes through tomorrow and they say, right, actually, you are guilty. The guy who attacked you with a knife, he's totally fine, that guy. Tap it, good on him. He was only doing the right thing. He clearly wasn't. That's sarcasm. If this passes through tomorrow, we will have a situation where any Muslim, allegedly, this is my interpretation, right? If this law passes through tomorrow, we will have a situation where if a Muslim feels you are racially aggravating him, he can attack you potentially with a knife, like we've just seen, right? Like we've just seen, and that's fine. And you will be sent to jail. That's the thing. Googleinos is saying it gives you a blue name so you can find my articles. Googleinos, I don't know what that means, mate. Right, Googleinos has just sent a super saying it gives you a blue name. I don't know what that means, mate. I don't know what that means. You can have a blue name, mate. I don't know what that means. Lisa Jane is saying, BBC News, students begin COVID compensation claim against 36 universities. I don't know where that is. Right, let me just jump up, guys, and get some... let me get some of these comments on the chat. Oh, hang on. Right, okay, Googling us first comment, right? Sean, make me moderator. You know you want an alien. Guys, listen, I with the moderators, right, I want people to be able to say what they want, right? I do. I want people to say what they want. It's bit me in the toes before. Right, let's consider this, Google. Let me consider it, Google. I will absolutely consider it. Right, guys, there's quite a lot on the chat. Denari is saying Jesus washed before prayer like Muslim. Okay, that's fine. Right, I'm gonna have to read these out. There's quite a lot on. Right. BBC News, disability and LGBT hate crimes set to become aggravated offences too. This is bonkers, guys. This is bonkers. Like, anything's an aggravated offence, right? Like, anything can be an aggravated offence. Where's the Overton window there, right? Where's the Overton window? Remington Warhawk. What does that mean? That sounds like Remington Warhawk sounds like an that Remington Warhawk sounds like that sounds like an 80s. That sounds like an 80s action hero. Listen, I'm all for seeing some Remington Warhawk movies. Have you seen? Listen, guys, I know this is off topic, right? I know this is off topic, but bear with me, right? Have you guys seen the AI bow sword? Or sword bow, I think it is, sword bow. Right. So somebody asked AI to generate a 1980s style fantasy called Sword Bow or something. And they've done this little movie called Sword Bow. And it's fucking awesome. I want to watch Sword Bow. I do, guys. I want to watch Sword Bow. Daniel Jack is saying, no, make me moderator. I care about the country than my own citizens. Next UK protest, wouldn't it be a nice idea to walk your dogs too? Do you know what? Yeah, what is this thing about dogs, right? We're not allowed dogs in the countryside. Like, honestly. You're not, so like, the government are trying to create safe spaces in the countryside where you're not allowed dogs. Honestly, I don't even have words anymore, guys. I can't believe I'm saying this stuff. Slim is saying moderators are like hall monitors. No one likes them. Listen, I'm a rock and roll guy. I'm a free for all. Googleinos is saying Poland considers building nuclear weapons. I don't think nuclear weapons are ever going to get fired, guys. I really don't. I don't think nuclear weapons are going to be fired. Daniel Jack is saying, Sean, come to the United States of America and seek asylum. You'll receive true freedom. You know, I've got a friend who keeps telling me he lives in Texas. He keeps saying he's going to buy me a 6-shooter. He says, if I go over to Texas, right? If I go over to Texas and work for him, he says he'll buy me a 6-shooter. And honestly, I'm so tempted just to get a free 6-shooter. He said, which one would you want? I said, listen, to be honest, mate, I said, there's only one I'd want. I said, it'd be a Colt Nighthawk custom with an 8-inch barrel. He said, dude, that's a sweet piece. And it is, guys. It's a sweet piece. Colt Nighthawk custom with an 8-inch barrel. Sweet piece, guys, with the, with the compensator on it. Look, you can have your Glocks. You can have your Glocks. You can have your, you can have whatever you want. You pull it out there with your little magazine. Nothing strikes fear and terror, right? Like when you pull a 357 Magnum out and whack that on the table and the table shakes. The table shakes both with fear and excitement in equal amounts. Guys, the chat's going crackers. I'm really struggling to keep up with this. Think about who, Brian Hart is saying, think about who has changed our immigration laws so they can plunder from the shadows. I think this started in the Tony Blair era. I really do, guys. I think this started under Tony Blair. Tony Blair opened the floodgates, right? Tony Blair opened the floodgates, but nobody really cared in the 90s because everybody was just like having a good time, right? Everybody was going to parties and like raves and discos, and nobody really cared. And it happened slowly and surely. But here we are, and we are absolutely dizzled. We are, guys, we are dizzled. Michael Moss is saying British nationals are waiting and willing to take the country back. Let me tell you, also include Irish on our side. So look, it's the Americans are on our side as well. Like there's not a chance. Googleinos is saying Tony Blair said he didn't like being prime minister. So Michael Moss is saying British nationals are waiting. Absolutely. Like I said, I've got lots of friends who are American, and like they say to me all the time, they're like, Sean, sitting over here in America, watching what's happening, it is absolutely painful. It's painful to watch. It's painful. And it's painful for people in America to watch. Denari is saying Jews worship the calf made of gold. What? I don't understand this, guys. Jews worship the calf made of gold. Whilst Moses was alive, even after the Exodus and seeing the miracles of the Almighty, they rebelled and started to worship idols. The Jews are corrupted. Can we? Right. Here's my take on religion, guys. All right. Here's my take on religion. Right. You've got all these religious books, right? And they're all claiming to be the one. We're the one. No, we're the one. We're the one. No, we're the true religion. Okay, right, okay. Like, you've got the King James Bible, right? Is it the King James? I think it's the King James Bible. That was written by Henry VIII because he wanted to get divorced, right? Because he wanted to get rid of his wife. So he's like, yeah, we'll have our own religion so I can get divorced. And I think there's something more. And I think these religious brackets, they really do divide people, and they really do extremize people. David King is saying that's Baal stuff. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've been down the Baal rabbit hole. I have. I've been down the, what's his name? Malakon or something? Malachi? There's Baal, and his name's something beginning with M as well. Is it Malachi? Malcon? I don't know. So there's Baal, right? And he's got another name, and it begins with M. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I've been down this rabbit hole. I have. I've been down this rabbit hole looking what Baal is, what the other guy is, what this is all about. And like the further you go back, all I'm going to say, right? All I'm going to say is I'm going to do a video on this. I'm going to do a live stream on this probably tomorrow afternoon, because I've been doing my normal live streams and I've been coming on in the afternoon. I've been doing like, sometimes they're a bit fun, sometimes they're a bit tongue-in-cheek. Like earlier on, I did a live stream and I just gave like the hypothetical scenario, how to prepare for an alien invasion, right? And listen, with today's news of the recipe for chaos, I actually think that the video I did last, how to evade a hostile crowd, how to get out of a hostile crowd, like that's going to be really relevant, right? That is going to be really relevant now, because like that, whatever that likelihood was, that's just gone up. That has just absolutely gone up. So David King, I'm going to be doing another video on Baal and Molochi, or whatever his name is. Is it Molochi? I don't know. And I've been looking at all this stuff. Now, there's got to be something in it, right? And my question, and nobody's answered, I can't find an answer to this question. My question to this is, what do these people get out of that? What do these people get out of that? Now, there is a massive amount of people, high-end celebrities, people of ultra high net worth who've lost their firstborn child and are ultra successful. I mean, ridiculous. Like, did you know that Elon Musk lost his first child? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that Elon Musk lost his first child? Let me Google this. Yes, Elon Musk lost his first child, Nevada Alexander Musk, in 2002. Nevada was born to Musk and his first wife, Justine Wilson, and passed away at 10 weeks old from sudden infant death syndrome. Right, so let's Google what sudden infant death syndrome is, right? Give me a second. I'm going to open up another screen. Sudden infant death syndrome is unexpected, unexplained. Look, I'm not saying anything. I'm literally just giving you guys what AI is saying. Fucking world's dark, guys. The world is fucking dark, right? The world is dark, right? The world is dark. There's an unbelievable amount of celebrities, right, that are that this happens to. Now, look, let me play advocate, right? Let me play advocate. When you lose a child, it gives you that drive. It gives you that that ability to push forwards and do things that you wouldn't normally. Lewis Ackers is saying dark practices all around. You see, I like to try and debunk this stuff because I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that anyone would do that, right? And I'm not. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not convinced that anyone would get their firstborn child and go, yeek! Although I do feel like it myself sometimes. I'm joking. That's obviously not. I don't. But they do piss you off, right? One of the girls, she said, she's like, Daddy, I want some chicken wings. I'm like, right, okay, what do you want me to make them? Or like, she said, yeah, can you make some chicken wings with like some Mexican sprinkles on them? I'm like, yeah, I will absolutely do you Mexican chicken wings. Anyway, so I went down the store, I got some chicken wings. I'm there, I'm cutting them up, I'm seasoning them, rubbing the oil in, rubbing the herbs and the spices in. Anyway, got them on the barbecue, cooked them, took them in. Oh, Daddy, I don't like chicken on the bone. Honestly, I hit the roof. I started shouting. I'm like, what did you think chicken wings were? I didn't know there was on the bone, Daddy. It's all gone wrong. He's saying the nuns in Ireland would have many women. I struggle with all this, guys. Right, let me ask AI. Look, guys, with all this stuff, right, I will never say anyone's wrong. I just say, please give me the evidence, right? Please just give me the evidence. Please give me the evidence, right? Or something I can read, right? Let me Google this. Right, I can't find anything. Right, hang on. Irish Central, right, let me look at this. Right, I'll share this with you guys. Let me share this. Tuam Chamber. Oh, let me get that off. Right. So that's what I was reading. Tuam Chamber of Horrors. Babies. What? Right. Okay, I'm going to read this. I just shared it with you, right? So you guys know I'm reading off this. This is from the Irish Central. This was published the 8th of March, 2017. So it's a couple of years old. Jesus, almost 9 years old, right? Tuam, Chamber of Horrors, babies starved, sold, and experimented on. As shocking and shameful truth is unearthed in Tuam, Ireland is forced to look at the scale of crimes at mother and baby homes. Jesus Christ. At least 6,000 Irish young ones are now not here because of the notorious mother and baby homes throughout Ireland. But the nightmare doesn't end there. 18... Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't even read this. So look, this was like a are these Catholics? I mean, I think this was this is a Catholic mother and baby home. Jeez, I can't even look at that. I can't even look at that, guys. What? There were 9 homes, and all in all, it's also confirmed fact that between 1940 and 1965, St. Patrick's on the Neven Road in Dublin and its sister hospital, St. Kevin's, donated 461 little ones for routine. Fuck me. Look, this isn't a Catholic church. So you know when I struggle, and for those of you who don't know, I feel like I'm a Christian, right? But when I see shit like this, and this is at the Catholic Church, right? So we all want to point our fingers, we all want to write things about, oh, this religion's doing this, and oh, this religion's doing this, and like, Catholic shit don't stink. Catholic shit, guys, has got, it's crazy. I can't even, I don't even want to read the stuff that's in that article. But if anybody wants to read that article, right, that's from the Irish Central, and the headline is Tuam, Tuam, Chamber of Horrors, baby starved, sold, and experimented on. Now, this is from a Catholic mother and baby home. So as I understand it, and I'm reading, look, guys, I've not read the whole article. It's very difficult to read. And again, I'm trying to disassociate myself from it. But what I'm understanding, this was a home where a shelter basically for women and children. So there you go, guys. Listen, people shit stinks, right? April Lee is saying, Sean, there's documentaries and films on this. I've never seen them, guys. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen them. It's not something I go looking for. It's not something I go looking for. Band Again is saying, oh God, yeah, I've seen this. I've absolutely seen this. I've seen this in America, where they changed the law for that late term thing. I can't even talk about it, guys. And I know this is a problem. I can't even, honestly, if I saw that stuff going on, There's an episode in Altered Carbon. There's one of the episodes in Altered Carbon, and Takeshi Kovacs goes absolutely crackers. He goes crackers, and he goes batshit crazy inside this laboratory. I think that's where I think that's the direction of travel I'd go if I ever saw this. Winner M2M is saying, sure, I read something like 20 years about Queenie being involved. Many graves at care homes in Ireland and other places. I don't even, look, I struggle with all this thing. When you get institutionalization, it's bad stuff happens, right? Stell with a fantastic thumbnail is saying HR is coming, stand by, right? And HR in the military is when everything goes kinetic. HR is when the artillery starts, the infantry get up, and it's a full-scale free-for-all. It's a battle. It's the battle royale. Everybody's going to the candy shop, and we're going to keep going until we stop. Right, so listen, guys, I'm conscious of the time. I've got like that much cider left. So let me just give you guys a quick rundown on what's happening. So the crux of this live stream, all right, was the law that's going, the legal case that's going through tomorrow in the High Court. The High Court of the United Kingdom. So basically, last year or whenever it was, there was the incident where there was a guy burning a Quran outside the Turkish, it was either the Turkish embassy or the Turkish consulate. Whatever, doesn't matter. It's not relevant. The location's not relevant for the purpose of this explanation. But there was a guy burning the Quran outside the I think it was the consulate, Turkish consulate. He got attacked. Some guy just pulled a whopper. Must be at least 8 inch, pulled a knife out, started attacking this guy, right? The guy who attacked him with a knife, totally fine. That's okay. No charges will be brought against you. Don't do it. Don't stab anyone. Don't attack anyone with knives again. So that's fine. Whatever. We'll just leave that, right? The guy who burnt the Quran, he got acquitted of, he got charged with, what was the word they used? Religiously aggravated public order, right? So that's what he got charged with originally. He was actually convicted of I need to get this right. Religiously aggravated public order offense, right? Basically, a public order offense is causing alarm and distress, right? So he was religiously causing alarm and distress. Now, the reason I'm being a little bit anal about that terminology is because it's very important, right? So tomorrow, so he then got acquitted by that. The courts overruled that. They said, you know what? They said, actually, a judge last October threw that out and said, actually, that's bullshit because here in the United Kingdom, we do not have blasphemy laws. Parliament scrapped them in 2008, and we have free speech, and we must have the right to free speech. We must protect the right to offend, shock, and disturb. That's what happened. Now, the Crown Prosecution Service, the government, the ones who we pay with our taxes, they're saying, no. We want to challenge this. Remember, the government are the same people who said and do say that the rights of asylum seekers trump the people of Epping. So the rights of asylum seekers are above your rights. That's what they're saying. They're taking this back to court and they want this overturned. They want this overthrown. We are going to know within less than 20. This time tomorrow, guys, I'm going to do a part 2 to this tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the outcome. But this time tomorrow, we could have a situation in the United Kingdom where if you cause religious alarm or distress, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how that interprets. You get beat up, and guess what? You're not the criminal. You're not the victim. You're the criminal. The person who beat you up, he's the victim, and he is totally justifiable by beating you up. And that's not me saying it, ladies and gentlemen. They're not my words. They are the words. Let me just share this because I need to share this so I don't get into trouble. Right, there are the words from GB News. Britain could have Muslim blasphemy laws by Tuesday once Free Speech Union. Right, hang on. He says something down here. Right, there it is. Oh, not that one. Hang on, give me a second. Jesus. Right. If the court overturns this acquittal, it upholds the conviction. It will effectively create a Muslim blasphemy law by the back door. So this is it will send a message to Muslim fanatics up and down the country that if they want to enforce Islamic blasphemy codes, all they have to do is violently attack the blasphemer, and the blasphemer will then be charged with religiously aggravated public order offence. They're not my words, guys. They are not my words. Tis written. Tis written in text. So that's the message it will send, guys. Literally, I'm reading that there. I'm not making this up, right? If this goes ahead tomorrow, it will, and I'm going to read it there so I don't get into trouble. It will send a message to Muslim fanatics, Islamic extremists all over the country. This legislation, this law, this precedence will be taught in mosques and madrasas all over the country. And it will send a message to Muslim fanatics up and down the country that if they want to enforce Islamic blasphemy codes, all they need to do is violently attack the blasphemer or the perceived blasphemer, and the blasphemer will then be charged with a religiously aggravated public order offence. That's where we are today, ladies and gentlemen, in modern Britain. That's where we are in modern Britain, guys. I can't believe I'm even saying this. I really can't believe I'm even saying this. It's absolutely insane. I will be doing a follow-up on this tomorrow, guys. I will be doing that. There's not a chance I'm letting this one slip. I'll be doing an absolute follow-up on this. I'll be talking about this. I'll be letting everybody know what this means, where we go, and, you know, what we're allowed to say, basically. What we are allowed to say. Because it does seem that, you know, all you are good for is paying your taxes. Right, let me jump down and get this. Yeah, and Jess is saying, thank you, Jess, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. As Jess is quite rightly pointing out, Donald Trump, the United States, State Department in the United States, they have offered political asylum to this guy. What the actual fuck? We will become a third world country tomorrow. If we are having political refugees seek asylum in the United States, we're a banana republic. We become a banana republic tomorrow, guys. Mark it on your calendars. Anyway, right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down. I'm going to close this down. You guys are fantastic, as always. Google Enos. Hang on, where's Google Enos' comment? Google Enos is saying the Bondi Beach gunman complains about prison conditions. You can't make these things up, can you? He'll probably, like, if that was in the United Kingdom, he'd probably get a payout, right? He'd probably get a payout for going against these human rights or something. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen, Cindy agrees. Cindy Archer 3 agrees. Thank you, Cindy Archer. Who's Naz? Okay, so Naz, who the lady was referring to, was the man who, the man who burnt the Quran, who's being dragged back through the legal system. The United States have said, if you get if you get found guilty, we will offer you political asylum. So he's the guy who burnt the Quran, basically. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna close this down. You guys are fantastic. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I bid you all good evening. I hope you have a great night. And listen, let's just all be conscious. Let's just all be aware that tomorrow at some point, Britain could be a banana republic. We could be a banana republic with political refugees fleeing to the United States. Right, ladies and gentlemen, on that bombshell, I'll finish this and I'll go and I'll be done for the evening. Remember, 10 o'clock tomorrow, guys. Set your watches. I'll catch you tomorrow.